Hello. When did silence become annoying? I used to be the person that could not live without the AirPod blasting music in her ear all day, every day. When I was in 10th grade, the first thing I did when I walked into school was put in an AirPod and press play on my playlist. And that playlist would run from the moment I walked into school to the moment I got home. I obsessed over the perfect playlist for every mood that I was in, whether it be motivated or happy or sad. But I found that taking out the AirPod and just listening to silence is a blessing. You notice so much more around you. You are able to listen and feel your own thoughts and emotions, and you can slow down and be at peace with silence. So today I'm going to be talking about how I used to listen to way too much music and why I've stopped and why you should too. So before we begin, if you don't know me, my name is Claire and you should subscribe. So getting right into this video, I believe that this constant stream of music stems from one thing: the addiction to stimulation. And I've talked about this in my other videos, so if you watch those, you know what I'm talking about. In a general sense, we have so many sources of entertainment at our fingertips. Like we have books and movies and podcasts and TV shows, and everything can make you feel an emotion, whether it be good or bad or happy or sad or nostalgic or romantic. Like everything, all of these sources of entertainment can make you feel something. When I listen to music all the time, it didn't give me a chance to process anything, especially not my own emotions, because music in itself is an emotion. It's art, and art evokes emotion. You can listen to music that's happy or sad and it will make you happy or sad. That gives you a break from having to listen to your own thoughts or feel your own emotions, because your head is constantly filled with these thoughts and emotions of somebody else. In that sense, music is so magical to be able to literally crawl into the soul of somebody else, as creepy as that sounds, but you know what I mean. But that's kind of art, right? With art, you can portray emotions and create thoughts and images and beliefs that otherwise you wouldn't be able to convey. But being stuck in the mind of somebody else, no matter how cool or good or magical it is, for 23 hours a day, that is not good for you, okay? You can lose sight of your own thoughts and emotions because of that, because you're always somebody else. You end up relying on all these sources of stimulation because you can no longer rely on your own opinion in this opinionated and polarized world. You can also rely on music to deepen existing emotions. When you're sad and you listen to a sad playlist and it makes you even sadder or cry. But this reliance on music for extreme emotions, no matter if it's good or bad, can lead you to feel the need to rely on music to feel emotions at all. Which sounds kind of emo, but you no longer rely on things in the real world to feel these emotions. You no longer rely on achieving something or just taking a walk in nature or connecting with another human being to feel these emotions. It kind of makes everything else in life bland. This leads me to tolerance. So there are two types of tolerance I'm going to be talking about today. The first is a tolerance to noise in general, and the second is a tolerance to the actual artistry of the music. So for the former, you can build up such a tolerance to just noise in general when you're listening to music so much every day. When I listen to music for the entire school day, every single day, I noticed that I didn't even hear the music half of the time, more than half of the time. That's because of something called habituation in psychology. Habituation is basically where constant stimulation ends up evoking less and less reactions until you end up just ignoring it completely, because your brain realizes that it's not something that's necessary, so it's just annoying at that point, and so it just shuts it out. At school, I really only kept playing it because when I didn't listen to music, the silence was so loud. I didn't really stop this habit until school ended after sophomore year, and I kind of just cold turkeyed it. I never went back to listening to music all day, every day. So now talking about the latter, which is tolerance to the artistry of music. I found that when I finally found the perfect playlist and just played it 24/7, which was honestly really rare because I never found the perfect playlist. Playing a playlist or a song 24/7 can lead you to start growing sick of it in just a couple days and then moving on. It's exhausting to keep trying to find a new song or a new playlist, and it makes something that should be an experience boring. Isn't that sad? Doesn't that hurt that songs that were so special and so meaningful and that songs you loved so much became boring and annoying? That hurts me. Does it hurt you too? It's like that new pop song that gets played on the radio 4 billion times and then everybody grows so sick of it, even though you might have liked it the first time you heard it or even the first 10 times, but after hearing it so much you don't like it anymore. And that's really sad, not just for you, but also for the artist. Another reason I stopped listening to music is because we as humans have grown so fixated to stimulation that we can never fully be in the moments anymore without any distractions or any other sources of information. We have developed the addiction to stimulation that has become the root of our ability to function as human beings. And we end up missing so much of the world around us because we can't be fully present and we can't multitask. It's proven by psychology that humans can't multitask because our brain is a pie and we can only give portions of the pie to each task. We can't give a whole pie to each task. This one video put it really well, how we all got tricked into content addiction, I think. In the video, he gave an example. He said, we can't take a walk in the woods anymore because we can listen to a podcast while taking a walk in the woods. And then that becomes boring, so we scroll on TikTok while listening to a podcast while walking in the woods. And it goes on and on and on because we don't need to be bored anymore. We don't need to be fully in the moment. There's so much that we can do all the time that we can't be in the moments. When I watched YouTube vlogs and stuff, and there's people who cook a meal while watching a show, then eat the meal while watching a show, and then do homework while watching a show, I'm kind of just like, what? Because for me, I just can't concentrate if I'm putting on a show while doing homework. Like, that's kind of mind-boggling to me. But I say this to say that it's become normalized for us to always have something else going on. We can't be fully present in the process of cooking or eating or doing homework, even as boring and mundane as that may be. This scenario uses a show instead of music, but I feel like it gets the point across better about our addiction to stimulation, because a show is more distracting than music, and yet people are still putting on a show doing homework. Like, how do you even do that? I don't know. But everything being said, we're also never in the moment enough to just listen to music. Okay, because music is art, like I've said. It is something to be experienced, be tasted and savored and enjoyed, and yet it's just become background noise at this point. For most of us, we don't sit down and just listen to music. We don't lay there with our eyes closed and enjoy every part of the music. It's just become something we put on when we're bored. Seeing the emptiness of things can help us cultivate stillness and peace of mind. If you do not know how to keep still in this crazy world, you will be drawn into all kinds of unnecessary trouble. Lei Zhu. We have developed the inability to be bored. Isn't that kind of crazy? We as a human race cannot stand to be bored anymore. For me, I'm often so stressed with everything going on that even if I didn't have to do anything, like if I just had to sit here, I would be thinking about something else or itching to do something else or cross something else off my to-do list to go and try to work towards my goal, even though I need to rest. Or I don't have to be working. I can just be in the moment. Like, there's always that itch to be doing something because we cannot do nothing anymore. There's too much to be done all the time, too much to be seen and felt and heard, too much that we need to work towards, because otherwise if we slack off for even a moment, we're going to feel like we're behind or lose this carefully curated facade that we've created for everybody else for their benefit, and we'll be a failure to everyone around us. At least that's what it feels like. That's why one of my biggest goals in life is just to be more mindful of my life. So I've been taking out my earbud when I'm doing my homework or talking to a friend or even in a boring class, because sometimes I find that I actually learn stuff, even if the teacher is just talking about her life. I found that the world didn't end when I was bored or when I stopped listening to music. Like the world didn't end. That's not to say that I don't still listen to music or I don't still watch shows or listen to audiobooks, because I do. I still listen to an audiobook when I'm working out and a playlist when I'm painting, but I'm not listening to it for 23 hours a day anymore. Actually, probably 24, like I used to, because music is something to savor, something special. It is a tool that can help you. It is an experience to experience and not a backboard to rely on at all times of the day. That's why I'm not telling you that music is bad or that you should cut it out completely, because you shouldn't. Music is art, music is special, music is amazing, but you don't need to listen to it for hours and hours and hours a day, because that is not doing you good. You just have to pick certain times for it. Like for me, if it's something that I need a distraction in running, I cannot run without anything, because Actually, I did. I ran my 5K without any music because my earbuds didn't work. So, like, I could, but if I'm on the treadmill, it's just, I need something to stimulate me because, I'm not gonna get into it, but sometimes there are times when you can listen to music that will help you, it's a tool to help you. And sometimes you don't need it, like when you're in school, you don't need it the whole day. And when you're talking to a friend, you really need music playing when you're talking to someone. Like, how is that going to help you? Stuff like that. I just want to challenge you to see if you can live more mindfully. Try to be in the moment 100%, even if you're bored. I think it's beautiful to slow down and take things in and fully feel every moment that you live, because you're never going to get that back. For me personally, I don't want to live my life knowing that I only gave half my attention to the world around me and the people around me, and I hope you don't want that either. So that's it for this video. I hope you guys learned something. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you guys like this series, please let me know and I will keep making more videos. But that's all for today. Bye!